everyone. So today we're getting a jump on second cutting. So mid-July here. It's been about a month, a little over, so a month and a half since we finished first cutting. We had a pretty bad dry spell pretty much ever since we finished first cutting. We didn't have much rain at all. Thankfully the last couple weeks we've had more rain. It's been able to grow a little bit better, but sadly the clover, at this point is a little on the burnt side. So I'll show you here. You can see, like, in your bulbs, they're mostly brown versus the purple. It was better a few weeks ago, but vacations and things, we just didn't get to it. But it also becomes a balance of, you're spending all of this time in diesel and there wasn't really much there either. So you can see it's pretty short, but it's just what we're going to put up. It can be pretty thick though. We took the field up over there across that little knoll the other day. Just only had 10 bales, but it's pretty thick. So we'll see what all this brings. And I was gonna mow this early this morning because it's about mid-afternoon now, but they were calling for the smallest chance of rain. Well, that turned into an hour or two of rain, and the sun finally came out about half an hour ago, so it's dried up. And so today's Friday, and with the 80-some degree weather and it being, kind of light and not high volume, it'll hopefully dry up and be ready for dry baling by Sunday, but we'll see. So we got this field done, 1 down, 2 to go. Well, we got this field done, field number 2. I was gonna go over the hill here and do this field right below, but it's almost like 7 o'clock. It's getting cool already, so gonna go home, actually spend some time with the family. I might mow that lower portion tomorrow morning, and we'll go from there. So a couple things to note. For second cutting like us, I'd say a good rule of thumb is we may get like half as much volume as we would first cutting. Last year was an exception. Last year we had just about, I'd say, equal in some fields. It was pretty extraordinary, but we just had just the right amount of sun and rain. And this year, like I said, for a month and a half, we barely got any rain. Some rain went to the north, some to the south. Seemed like it was never coming to us. So yeah, even though it's much shorter, it is thicker than first cutting though, so you do have that advantage. So even though, cutting with this big guy, that tractor is still working at times. If I'm in the same gear, which is high second, that I normally mow first cutting in, and that's just because of I guess how thick it is and cutting it, or still some of the volume going through the the word is escaping me, the crimper, the conditioner. There you go, the hay conditioner on the back of that mower. But it's certainly like not a breeze for this tractor, and I can't go any faster too because the fields are just rough enough with groundhog holes and things like that that I already kind of pushed it to the limits. So all right, well, let's see what tomorrow brings. Okay, so day 2, we had another change of plans. I never mowed that third field because we were worried. It's supposed to have a chance of rain on Monday, and today it was only supposed to get up to like 78, 80, and tomorrow, being Sunday, is supposed to be cloudy all day, so we didn't think if we mowed it that it would be dry enough in time. However, after about 24 hours now, it got up well into the mid-80s today. This hay here seems to be close. I tested it with our tester, and it seems to be about 14-15%. We'll see what the actual bale monitor says when I start baling it. So I raked it earlier with the 3010 there. I hooked that up to the new rake and was using that. I had my son with me, so that's why I didn't get any video of that. And yeah, so handling both kids here, so I probably won't get any videos of this baling. So we're just doing what you see here tonight, and then that second field we're still going to do tomorrow, especially since this is kind of close on the moisture content. It's getting later in the afternoon, and we want to get this up before the dew sets in. So everything is going pretty well here. I'm actually about halfway done with this field. You know, I was thinking the other day, you know, the kind of the boring times, you know, even for me, let alone for you guys watching, or when everything's going right. But you know, in the end, that's just a good thing, because otherwise those days get tired and frustrating. But everything's going fine. The moisture's holding. I'm not saying 16% now. It was 13 to 15, so right on the edge, but I think it's going all right. Made about 5 bales so far, and yeah, just keep going. Hopefully we'll get this done here before the dew starts setting. It was very cool last night. I know I mentioned when I finished mowing that it was cooling off. Got down to 58, so it was pretty chilly this morning. And yeah, just keeping on. And what we do tomorrow should be a lot drier. I mean, it was only mowed an hour or 2 later than this, and it'll have tilt tomorrow. So. All right, well, there's that piece. 2, 4, 6, 8 bales. We'll see what tomorrow brings. You know, like I said, it's a lot of coverage for just 8 bales, but is what it is. Got to be done. Well, here's exactly what we were afraid of, sort of. Pretty cloudy today, not very warm at all. Almost 11 o'clock, and yet it's still a little damp. One news station is calling for rain today. The other says it'll be fine. Who do you believe? Who knows? But we're gonna get this raked and let it sit for a good while, and hopefully it'll dry up a little bit more. Well, folks, and just like that, plane goes out the window. No sooner than I had raked this little bitty field here and got back in the house, it started dripping. I looked at the radar, and it didn't look good. So one of the weather stations had to be right, and sadly today it's the one that was calling for rain. So I'm baling this real quick before it gets too much moisture on it, because it's still just kind of dripping out, and we're just going to end up wrapping them. Tomorrow ain't going to be any better. cloudy. They're talking a chance of heavy rain in the afternoon. So yeah, just bale this up and wrap it. We didn't even get our dry bales in from yesterday yet, so hopefully my father-in-law will get those in soon. So those, I mean, they can just kind of sit in our hoop structure, you know, away from the other bales for a few days, as long as they don't get too much on them. And yeah, so, you know, here I was talking about how everything, you know, going smoothly and things like that. I mean, this is minor, but it just kind of stinks. Talk about it raining down on your parade. How about raining down on your hay? So we'll get it baled up. It'll hopefully still be good. We've done this before, where when I had raked it, it was still turning over pretty green, which is kind of weird, considering, you know, all of this was mowed immediately after I had mowed that other field that we baled yesterday, and it was good and it was dry last night, and yet and this one just was not, even though I feel like this was even thinner. But oh well, it is what it is. And we'll just have a couple more silage bales. I'm only expecting maybe 6. I don't even think I'll have 8 bales here, so that's just how much of a small chunk this is, and as thin as it is. So, well, and sadly, when you start getting into higher moisture, this is what happens. At least with this baler. We were looking at a new John Deere baler and wondering the way those are designed if it would be better, but anyways, not something I want to be pulling out in my good church clothes, which I'm still in because I rushed over here, but we'll get it done. Well, I guess this will be a little bit of an experiment. This hay is completely soaked by now, by the time I finished. So those bales will be pretty wet and heavy for him to wrap, so we'll see. Yeah, it had about 8 bales after all. So funny how we wanted to do more hay than the forecast. We were thinking, you know, it was going to struggle to get us to Monday, everything dry, and here we didn't even get to Sunday morning, noon, before rain. So oh well, we got her done, and hopefully we'll move on to some brighter days. So, alright everyone, have a good day. Signing off.